we got Nalguidan versus Firebat. Obviously, the way it's worked out with Grandmasters, players don't have a webcam. We're not going to interview them, which is probably what some players are consciously doing, knowing that they don't have to be interviewed. Like,
They
wait,
don't want to interview?
don't have to interview, and I don't have to be on camera and look well-groomed and composed? Yeah, sure, yeah. Oh, yeah, I have some webcam problems today. Yeah, it's not working for me today.
I seem to remember that Just Saying and Muzzy live together, and Muzzy, who's 10 feet away from him potentially, has a working webcam and computer that he can play on, plus a microphone since we've interviewed him twice this week.
Yeah.
So excuses are running dry, my man.
Yes, but this is not the place for me to talk or rant about it, TJ. Tune into the next podcast, and maybe I'll talk about it.
It's as good a place as any. Say your piece.
I will, but let's first introduce the next match. We got Nalguidan from Argentina going up against Firebat from the USA. Nalguidan upset again on Twitter. It's a very common occurrence. It's almost a weekly series, almost as consistent as a podcast. Nalguidan feeling like that he messed up yesterday in game one where he was kind of a punt, but also is a little bit down on his luck. He's just kind of saying that he feels like this is not going to be a season after one best of three.
Ooh.
Little bit of a knee-jerk reaction, but it's some raw emotion that he's processing, and he's putting it out there for everyone to see.
It is raw emotion, but, in that first game, it felt like he had a shot at winning and threw it away. By just letting his opponent have lethal on board to kill it by overlooking the fact that Caligos made his next spell free, which gave him Fireball with Antonidas. So, maybe a little bit here, a little bit there, but overall I think that those kind of mistakes can't happen at this level of play, especially with best of three, when one mistake can sometimes lose you a series. So we'll see if he can pick it up going into today's.
If you throw a game in a best of three, I don't think you have the right to complain about how bad your luck is. I'm just going to put it out there, largely because you had influence over how things panned out.
Yep.
If you are saying that you have bad luck, but okay, so obviously here's the thing, though. Nalguidan didn't have a guaranteed chance to win that previous series. It's just that he had an opportunity to.
Yes.
And when you say that, it's like, well, are you expecting the game just bail you out in situations where, you cornered yourself in order to get to that spot? Yep. Hard to say. Nalguidan with a Protect Warrior, Ban Warrior, and Firebat with a Protect Rogue, Ban Hunter strategy here.
Yeah, and first game is going to actually be both protected decks. Nalguidan's going to be playing as Warrior, Firebat's going to be playing as Rogue. So a good matchup for Nalguidan to start things off. He is playing the Bomb Warrior, so maybe a little bit less so. He also has some cards that maybe aren't as good in the matchup. Like Azalina Soul Thief, which can be kind of dead in the matchup. Augmented Elic can sometimes be too slow. And Spellbreaker really only has one target, and that's Edwin Van Cleave. Actually, Firebat's playing Hedge Clan Thugs, so I guess they could trade 1-for-1 against that. But overall, I think that even though this matchup's a favorite, I think Firebat's got some game. He is playing a little bit different of a lineup, list. He does have Evil Miscreants and Hedge Clan Thug. In order to make that happen, he's cut a little bit of the early game, I suppose. Not playing Fairy Dragon and not playing Zephyrus, which have both been pretty common inclusions in Rogue up until this point in the expansion.
Big fan of the Zephyrus. Kind of sad that Firebat doesn't have it, but I don't think that's his game plan. He wants to target things like Mage. He wants to be able to hit other classes that are a little bit more susceptible, like Priest, and that's where he feels like his Paladin really can come in and really bully people around. So we saw some of it in Europe. We haven't seen any of it today. In fact, we haven't seen much of it in Americas in general, largely because it feels like people who did bring Paladin end up not playing it, or it started getting banned against them on the first day of competition. We had 4 OTK Paladins, and 2 of them were banned. One of them was protected, and the only one that protected it was Firebat, who played it.
Yeah. And what Firebat was saying in his interview on Friday really kind of resonated with me about the format, because it wasn't something that I thought about, like the whole targeting 2-deck strategy, and it does work out for him. Nalguidan protected his Warrior, which means that he's going to have a good matchup in this first game. But then once you go into games 2 and 3, Firebat has Paladin and Rogue, which are counters to the 2 decks that Nalguidan has remaining. So even though this first game is kind of like a toss-up, I think Firebat overall is favored in the series.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I heard the last sentence, and I heard a lot of what you were saying leading up to it.
Whoop.
And I think Firebat would like for me to agree with you. So in an effort to defend myself from Firebat angry Twitter fans, yes, you are correct. I think Firebat is the best player in the world.
Yeah, he's always right.
Yeah, we're just naming him.
Such genius moves.
No, it's very clear that Firebat is actually, in a serious note, because obviously we were joking. Firebat has put a lot of thought into his lineup, and I really respect that, given that I think a lot of streamers and some players maybe take it a little bit easy to say, you know what, it's a simple format. I'm just going to bring the best decks. And they don't try to go to the next level. And obviously, if there is such thing as overthinking and you don't want to go too much. But I always feel like Firebat at least has good ideas, right? He tries to innovate slightly and try to beat what people are doing. If you look at his series on YouTube, which are fantastic, by the way, you should definitely check it out. Firebat does a how to beat a certain class on top series. So it's this meta, he was trying to beat the Warriors because everyone's playing the Warrior. Last expansion was how to beat the Rogues. And he talks about every turn, these are the things you want to think about. These are the cards you want to have in your deck to maybe try to beat them. These are the decks that I'm trying out. And I think it's a fantastic series. It's one of the best educational content out there. And that is why Firebat is beloved by fans around the world, not just for his play, but because he has S-tier content, in my opinion.
Well said. Well said. And again, rough first matchup for Firebat, but I'm confident in his ability to go throughout the series. Nalguidan actually banned the Warrior away from Firebat.
Yeah, so pick Warrior, ban Warrior has actually been one of the most popular strategies so far in Grandmasters. We've seen it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 times so far.
But at the same time, Firebat's playing the Paladin lineup, which means that if you ban Warrior, that's kind of what Firebat wants, because he has Rogue and Paladin, so he has the from his perspective, the Priest versus Mage covered.
Well, it depends on what you really believe.
Well, it's what Firebat believes.
Yes.
Job done.
For reference, Protect Hunter Ban Hunter has been done 3 times, and Protect Mage Ban Mage has been done twice. Wow, that's actually very few compared to how much I expect it to be. Because, it's like, I want to play the best deck and I want to ban the best deck.
Mm-hmm.
But that level 1 strategy doesn't really work very often. Hedge Clan Thug here, very common play here on turn 3. The fact that Firebat also attacked on 2 set up for the kill, but had he known he had 3 second Hedge Clan Thug, I think he obviously would have kept his dagger charge.
Yeah. Removal option here for Nalguidan with the Restless Mummy. Don't know if you can let this Hench Clan Thug live for a turn, because then if Firebat were to play Weapon plus Dread Corsair, you'd find yourself in a pretty awkward predicament.
No tomb can hold me.
And then the choice of trading in the Restless Mummy Reborn or the Eternium Rover. If he trades in the Eternium Rover, sure, yeah, it's more damage efficient, but then he leaves a 1 health minion on board that can be easily picked off by a Dagger Up and Firebat. Oh man. Not being on the coin makes everything just so tough.
Yes. I mean, he does have plays available to him, but it's one of those things where this is where we get to see how Hench Clan Thug can struggle a little bit. And we've seen exactly this scenario, too, where he's Hook Scimitar with just nothing else to do.
Yeah. You can Hook Scimitar and roll it into Captain's Greenskin to have a 3-2 weapon. Fire War Axe, effectively, on the next turn. Not sure if that's going to be enough to get him across the finish line, though. Oh, another Eternium Rover picked up for Nalguidan.
So I looked up the data a little bit, or not the data, the history, and we've had 2 series where we've had a warrior pick and a ban warrior when you're facing an OTK Paladin lineup. Both of those times were specifically against Hunter Ace, and both those times Hunter Ace won.
Yeah, I think Hunter Ace has the same-ish lineup as Firebat.
Instead of Priest, he has Rogue. That's the difference between Firebat and which is a pretty big difference. But it's still the same concept of, oh, I want to kill mages.
I want to kill mages, yeah. He would have to have a second deck that he'd want to kill in that instance to be like as successful, but I think it's a similar strategy that might work out for both players.
It's interesting food for thought because both Tice and Kalento, sorry, both Kalentos banned the Warriors against Hunter Ace while picking it, and it didn't work out. And you know, I'm curious to see if that ends up being the case here because Rogue is a big difference maker. But the ban warrior, pick warrior strategy has actually been working out less for those players because overall, like I said, leading up into the series, it was done 5 times, and it's only worked out twice. It's 2 out of 3 right now.
Yeah.
Or 2 out of 5.
Well, I think it makes sense because you're effectively like conceding a warrior matchup because you have so many bad matchups in the warrior. Rogue is kind of similar to Priest in that they both kind of died to warriors, as well as Holy Wrath Paladin, which kind of dies to warrior. But then you have game in the rest of the series.
Yeah,
right?
that makes sense too.
And that's even if one of your poor decks into warrior line up into it, right? So
Sure.
like Nalguidan, Firebat could just as well have hit Mage with this matchup and been okay. I think it's a smart cue from Nalguidan in that regard.
I wonder.
Yeah, one thing that I did notice about Nalguidan when he was doing very well in the Conquest format, just the pure Conquest format in the years past, is that he did tend to get matchups that he was looking for a lot. And it's kept happening to the point where I was like, oh, maybe he just kind of knows what his opponent's likely to pick, and he's making a very strong, educated guess. And then, you know, just kind of playing out the best he can from that point on, which ended up getting him 2 championship appearances back-to-back.
Yeah.
In the summer... in the double summer series, right? It was summer championship to end the year and no summer championship to start
the year. That was weird.
Yeah, we've had some interesting seasons in Hearthstone. I do like this play. I think Evil Miscreant is the sub, the bench warmer in this position. Firebat going with the trade onto the snip snap to stop a magnetic ability.
Yeah, but that plays. There's only one magnetic, and it's Ziliax, right?
Plays into Brawl.
This plays into Brawl, also plays into Warpath. Because if he had left the Snip Snap up, there was no way for Nalguidan to clear the I guess there was no way anyway. It didn't play into Warpath in any way. So that was, I guess,
yeah, because the taunt got
the taunt got in the way?
If he was able to get past the taunt, then.
So this played around Ziliax maximum healing, but it played into Brawl. So I guess
he ended up being okay with the Brawl. He went to the Brawl 3 out of 5 times.
And Ziliax is more likely because the Town Crier.
Turning him Rover and Ziliax in this spot. That is sick. Now I was going to hesitate and think for just a little bit, but that's got to be the pick.
Yeah. He could go with Spark Drill too and then follow it up with Ziliax.
There is a weird interact. Oh, you're right. Spark Drill with Ziliax is also very good.
Because if you turn him over into Ziliax, Sap just shuts you out of the game because you get a Turnium Rover back. But it's Armageddillo.
Yeah, Armageddillo buffing the Ziliax is a big swing here for Nalguidan.
Oh, Bone Wraith.
Bone Wraith is very interesting.
That's cool. Still feel like Firebat's going to need a lot of help from the top of his deck in order to win this. Thinking of Myra's Unstable Element or just straight up damage like Waggle Pick in order to try and get some additional value.
Their Lackey is also a potentially very powerful card here being drawn.
Yeah, he just saw Brawl, which means he can go a little bit wider. Trying to figure out the best way to also remove this Armageddillo.
It's probably a Goblin Lackey off the 2-mana minion that comes off of Faceless Lackey. Oh, imagine if he had a Waggle pick to bounce that bad boy.
Still needs Myra's along with it too.
Yeah, I think you Goblin Lackey the 3/2. Yeah, that's kind of what we're talking about.
And now he Firebat because Restless Mummy was played from the left of the hand. It was in the mulligan, and then he saw the Town Crier earlier, and then Armageddillo buffing something in hand. He's pretty confident that Ziliax is there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the backstab keep is for, because Firebat's been pretty greedy with his backstab keep. He hasn't needed it to combo anything. He could have used it for like a, like maybe a slightly more damage to push through after that Armageddillo, but I think he wants it to have a better chance of getting through a Ziliax without giving him double effect from the healing.
And he also might be just afraid of sap. Sap here would be backbreaking. Payoff is huge. He would gain life and armor if his opponent can't deal with it.
And the Ziliax just has way more health straight up.
Yes.
Unity, precision.
Oh.
Hey, he's afraid of sap, and I totally get that. But man, SI7 agent, that would be also quite the godlike draw in this position. And you know, Nalguidan, to his credit, also
Double backstab.
Eviscerate here would be sick. Wait, no, he already carried off the Zephyrus. Academic Espionage. That's the card that you need picked, I believe, in top 8 of Mash and Dorsal, and I was blown away.
What do you do here?
I think you Shadow Step and try to go for a Cobalt Lackey and get past the Ziliax.
Or do you Shadow Step and look for a spell?
Ooh, okay, I'm down. I like that.
But Shadow Step Evil Miscreant gets you Kobold Lackey, and it also has a chance to get you the Ethereal Lackey to run out their spell.
Cheap shot.
Oh, nice!
Scary stuff. Nalguidan needs to find Warpath. Warpath would just be, he'd be home free pretty much. That bone rate does complicate things. Or another brawl.
Firebat's had stuff though. That's
Yes, he is. That's the thing that's probably in the back of my Nalguidan. It says, if I can hold off, I mean, in the end, this is 8 power that's on the board. Not the end of the world. The opponent's also pretty much out of cards. Firebat is very much all in here.
well, I mean,
Right, 2 bomb cards and Blastmaster Boom.
yeah, but Brent's Caliber doesn't have a great target to attack into. He's got to attack into Bone Wraith, which is like a free 2 damage in order to load up a bomb.
Yes.
And then Blastmaster Boom is also, without Dr. Mad Genius online, is a 7-mana play that has no immediate effect. So Firebat basically has 2 turns here of damage push.
Yes. I do like the swing, although I think Nalguidan's thinking if he's going to damage himself too much.
Yeah.
8 power on the board, 9th the dagger. So if he goes down to 20 and arms up to 22, he would die in 3 turns if he can't improve the board state.
He's looking for Brawl, Warpath, Blastmaster Boom, I guess, so he can start rushing Boombots. Doesn't attack.
Okay.
But Sap picked up for Firebat, which not great right now.
Yeah, Firebat probably in this position can think about if he wants to play Faceless Lackey.
Trade in the lackeys that are on the board and Faceless Lackey.
So many
think-
options.
I think it's better to hold on to the Faceless Lackey and maybe just push with the backstab. Or sorry, like backstab the 3/3 and then just push with everything else.
Yeah.
He has to calculate his damage though. If he does 8 right now, his opponent's gonna armor up every single turn. He needs to actually push every single point of damage he can possibly do for the next 3 turns. Because the armor up is gonna outpace his dagger. So I think he wants to go all face here. Plus, there's an added benefit of more damage means things like Leroy at the top are more lethal.
Ooh, Town Crier.
Okay.
Still a Restless Mummy in the deck.
Yeah, Restless Mummy helps.
But I think he wants to play Blastmaster Boom in this spot. If he plays Restless Mummy, all he's doing is armoring up. And he only clears 1 additional minion, so he only takes 1 additional attack off board.
Right.
I guess 3 additional attack, because otherwise he wouldn't have a way to kill the reborn Bone Wraith. But delaying Blastmaster Boom is...
I want to play Blastmaster Boom.
Yeah, I don't think you can afford not to.
And by playing the Town Cry, you're also restricted your board space.
He doesn't need any more board space.
Well, he had he had
is-
1 bomb shuffled in, right? So he had 2 bombs that he could go in. Oh, yes, you're right. It's because he didn't swing the previous turn.
Yeah, he
swung,
did.
he swung the previous turn, he could have filled it out.
Yeah.
But like we're talking about, if Nalguidan swings, he's like decreasing his life, making it easier for him to die. And 8 power, 9 on the board, knows he's dead to it, a single eviscerate.
Well, actually fits in the armor up.
Leroy Jenkins.
Life Drinker's close.
Board tension.
Love it.
Here's another thing too, by the way. Firebat doesn't acknowledge his board. He could die.
Yeah, he may have to sap Blastmaster Boom.
Yeah. Which will also be a scary proposition.
Yeah.
Maybe trade in a 1/1 and then Life Drinker.
Yeah. You can trade off the 3/1, leave 4 Boombots and a Town Crier on board. I think Firebat realizes that he kind of has to win the game in the following turn. And if his opponent plays 2 Morden, he's kind of dead anyway. And I think he might have played it before this point. There's no Ziliax. There's not that many sap targets left in the deck outside of 2 Morden. Which is not the greatest sap target, by the way. So,
Sapping Dr. Boom! Hoping that his Leroy and his Life Drinker may be able to finish the game, but he's holding on to his Life Drinker as surprise damage. Flight and Flunky comes to the hand for Nalguidan.
Scary.
2 Morden
oh,
and a Ziliax.
that's the juice right there.
Which is more important, the Ziliax? Your opponent just sapped. How many saps are in the deck?
If you Ziliax, you can armor up.
Okay, I like it. You've sold me. Discovering the Ziliax off the Frightened Flunky is the nuts. That is sick.
Unity, precision,
The smallest of reactions out of Firebat.
Well, game's not over yet. It's just looking tough.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for him to win from here, I think.
Boombots. We go 1 to face, 4 to face.
Whoa.
Okay. Attack with the Wrench Caliber. Firebat needs to draw Myras and dodge the bombs. That's another scary thing about everything. The amount of bomb damage you might take.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh.
R2 Defender. Oh.
Oh wait. What? Can play his hand. Sure. Why not? Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean that's good stuff overall. Can Restless Money,
No tune can
Drinker.
hold me.
Life Drinker. I mean, 6 health gain stinks, but just keep working past it.
Yep.
Do you backstab to clear the board?
Tune can hold me.
That's a tough one, because you might need a combo activator. You still have Hook Scimitars and stuff in the deck.
I think he's basically on Myers to win next turn. So,
No Ethereal Lackey. That was
oh,
the
you
best
get a
part.
combo activator most of the time from the Evil Totem anyway. Unless if you backstab the bomb, it would kill it.
All right. Blastmaster Boom again.
No tomb can hold me.
Ah, this is a very safe play. I guess it's fine given that Firebat has only one card in hand, and you know one of them's a lackey. Or he has 2 cards in hand, one of them's a lackey.
Yeah, you pretty much know that he has to draw Myras, and by putting more bombs in the deck, you actually increase the chance that you kill him.
It's true.
Especially if this bomb deals 2, it dealt 4.
All right. One more time. That Ziliak's gaining 12 life makes such a difference. But even with that 12 life difference, Firebat would still be short a couple points of damage.
Yeah.
2 more in off the top.
2 more than armor up attack face, and that's pretty much checkmate. Because Firebat needs Myras, but Myras will most likely kill him because there'd be 4 bombs in the deck, and even if it doesn't kill him, he won't have enough damage to finish the game due to 2 Mordants. So that should be game number 1 going over to Nalguidan.
Yeah, Firebat recognizing that he got locked out. Nalguidan withstanding the rogue pressure. That early game curve that Firebat had ran into the problems that we were talking about. Are you supposed to be playing Evil Miscreants and Henge Clan Thugs? Something to think about. I mean, the Miscreants kept him competitive in the mid-stage of the game, but did it sacrifice too much in the early game? At the same time, what are you supposed to take out of the deck, too, that makes it easier and smoother for the curves?
If he had a Fairy Dragon, would have made that much of a difference. That's kind of what we're saying here. I think the answer is no, but pretty foregone conclusion there for game 1. Nalguidan taking a favorable.
All right, we're going to go to a break, and with that, when we come back, we're going to find out if Firebat can turn around the series or Nalguidan will close it out.
The shadows are rising again, darker than they've ever been. As evil descends from the skies, the world cries out, how will we survive? Out of the hall of explorers, and up from the dusty tombs, they grab their whips and fedoras. These legends of the past know exactly what to do. There might be magic monsters, mummies in the markets, and ancient mysticism. There's surely scorching deserts, adventure, monster of narcissism. High stakes think annihilation, obliteration of civilization. Now is the time to be brave. Evil's come to enslave, but this league's gonna save the world.
I'm Facundo Pruso, more known as Nalguidan. My username is an Illidan reference. I used to play Warcraft 3 a lot. Illidan is my favorite character. Back in the days, I really liked watching RDU stream as well. After I saw him for the first time on some DreamHack tournament, and then I got to beat him on some online tournament finals. That was my first tournament win, my first prize win. That was a very key moment for me in Hearthstone. I think I'm pretty good at recognizing what decks are good and how to improve them. I like the Su playstyle. Some people think it's like broke-back deck, but then you have a lot of things to master, and there is a lot of little things in that deck that, of course, you can draw 1, 2, 3, 4 and kill an opponent, but that's not gonna happen every game, and you need to know how to improve your odds. I don't know if other players already respect me or not. In my region, I think they do. I'm not sure about the other Grandmasters. This year, I really want to qualify for Global Finals. I quite didn't make it last year, so that's the main goal. I hear a lot of players say first season wasn't that important, but I think it really is. If you win the first season, you made it to Global Finals.
My name is James Kostasich. My handle is Firebat. My username is based off the StarCraft player Firebat Hero. I was a fan of him and watched him on Twitch early on in his career, and then just named myself Firebat because I thought it was cool. Something about me that people don't know, I really hate spending money. I try and save it whenever I can. I recently learned how to repair a dishwasher so that I didn't have to buy a new dishwasher. I like doing stuff like that. I get a really good sense of accomplishment and pride whenever I'm able to salvage something. My favorite Hearthstone Esports memory is winning the 2014 World Championship. That was pretty tough to beat, but I'm hoping that one day I can beat that memory. Being in Grandmasters, to me, means that I get another chance to prove myself and show that 2014 wasn't a fluke and that I am still here to play. I mean, I love playing against my own region because I get to play against a lot of my friends, which is always like really fun and entertaining, and there's so many different mind games. But at the same time, I'd really love to play against Europe and really knock them down a few pegs because they're so cocky all the time. I look forward to winning the most and losing the least. I definitely don't want to lose, and I definitely want to win, so it's really simple.
Nalguidan's up 1-0 over 2014 world champion James Firebat Kostic. You heard from Firebat himself, really wants to win a lot, but right now he's down 0-1. If he wants to win this series, he needs to win 2 consecutively. And the Warrior is gone and through with the Bomb Warrior getting victory for Nalguidan. So you can see in that the Bomb Warrior Protect paying off so far.
So far, yes. I still think Firebat has plenty game left in the series. Maybe even calling him a favorite, but that's a bold statement considering that coming back 2-1, even with 2 favorables, can still be difficult, especially considering the current metagame with Highlander decks and all that nonsense. There's a lot of decks that can blow you out of the water, even in an unfavorable matchup. So we'll see what Firebat's going to bring to the table here in game number 2.
Yes, I think that Firebat is going towards the Priest, I believe I was told. No, he's not playing Priest. Nalguidan's the one that's on Priest, I think.
Yeah, I would imagine Firebat would play Rogue again. But Nalguidan playing the Priest, pretty standard stuff. He does have a Witchwood Piper in the deck, which is an interesting inclusion. He has made room for it by cutting the Light Wardens. So it does not have access to multiple 1-drops to try and get that extra arm pack control in. And actually Firebat's going to go ahead and switch over to the Holy Wrath Paladin, which there's a lot of sentiment out there right now that think that the Priest can dismantle the Holy Wrath Paladin with some of that early aggression. But Firebat thinks the opposite. He thinks that this matchup is good as long as you play it right. And that's by kind of being greedy with your removal, looking for timeouts early to buy yourself time until you have the mana to go in with those huge board removals. But we'll see how this pans out. Firebat starting off with Crystology and Equality. Keeps Equality in the opening hand. Very peculiar, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, Quality makes sense just to stop a High Priest of Met from getting way out of control. It's like a situation where a High Priest of Met gets silenced, they lose their effect. So I like that a keep for Equality. Crystology, obviously, one of the best 1-mana draw source in the game.
Whoa.
Ooh, the true combo, Equality and Elven Archer.
Nalguidan kept Nephroset Ritualist, Injured Blade Master, and Extra Arms.
So he just didn't mulligan for the 1-drops.
Well, he only has the 1/1-drop with Northshire Cleric, but I feel like that's a pretty slow start. He's basically saying, unless I hit Northshire Cleric with 1 card mulliganed away, then I'm not playing anything until turn 3 effectively, because I'm guessing he kept Nephroset Ritualist in order to combo with Injured Blade Master. Which is at least slower than I thought the deck would want to play. But we'll see. Zephrys the Great.
Yeah, Zephrys, a card that you want to play in the late stages of the game. Right now, couple of awkward cards here, to say the least.
One shot, one kill.
I like Firebat playing aggressively onto the board here. Trying to make it awkward for Nalguidan outside of Wild Pyromancer to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, according to some of the data that's out there, Nephroset Ritualist is middle of the middle of the pack. Extra Arms also middle of the pack. Injured Blade Master is one of the weakest cards.
Yeah, that I don't know if I necessarily agree with the mulligan decision. I mean, it's paying off right now, for sure.
Sort of. I mean, it's paying off in the sense that he got to curve out and he's not punished. And again, this is against Paladin in general. This could be the fact that there's like Murloc Paladins out there on ladder that play tip to scales.
I wonder.
There's also some hand Paladin out there. Quest Paladin's probably the most commonly played Paladin deck on ladder. So, again, take all that information that we said with a grain of salt.
Job done.
Extra arms looking pretty good, but at the same time, Nalguidan understands that if Firebat just uses single target removal, or if he goes too much into it, single target removal will end up destroying him. So I wonder if he's going to commit 2 of these or just 1. Okay. 2 of them it is. 2 of them it is.
Wonder how greedy Firebat wants to get with the equality.
Thing is, he's dead to a single Divine Spirit, so I think he's got to kill it off here.
Yeah, he could have done something like Holy Wrath.
Job done.
Well, that was an instance where I think Firebat would have preferred to play timeout.
Timeout, absolutely.
Pain, speak to me. I've got more left in me.
Yeah, obviously he doesn't have timeout, so not an easy, convenient access to that. True Server Champion stops the Tolvir from getting healed. Also threatens the Acolyte Pain. I wouldn't be surprised if there's no hero power or novice engineer in this play because he doesn't want to give Nalguidan more card draw.
Yeah. Nalguidan does have the second extra arms to buff up this Acolyte of Pain, which I think is why he didn't want to go off with Circle of Healing there, because he's like, I don't really care about protecting this from True Silver Champion, because if he does True Silver Champion it away, I can extra arms this Acolyte on up, which makes it difficult for Firebat. Now that equality is used, it's basically just Shrink Ray that would be able to handle it. Or maybe Holy Wrath into Shirvala. Sometimes, you know, sometimes.
Sometimes. I will say that despite the fact that injured Blade Master isn't kept very often, or sorry, isn't a high win percent off the mulligan, it is kept fairly often and it still has a fairly competitive win rate. So a lot of the Priest players out there really do believe that having an early game is important. But all those other stuff makes Injured Blade Master better. So Nalguidan leaning into his opening hand here, capitalizing on momentum. High Priest of Met, not really doing much right now. It's good on the next turn, turn 7. Think? Do you want to extra arms and heal this? Yeah, force him to have Subdue.
Yeah. Subdue, Shrink Ray. Consecration probably not what he wants.
I think he has to start drawing cards. Oh. Yeah, he's hoping this does at least 2 damage.
I hope you like my invention.
4 works.
Yeah. And she gets the Shrink Ray.
Yep. Now just kind of looking for a timeout, and I think Firebat is in a reasonable position. He can buy some time with timeout, and then try and buy as much time as possible and get as greedy as possible with Shrink Ray plus Consecration. Witchwood Piper would pick up Northshire Cleric in this instance, but now I'm probably looking at High Priest of Met plus Acolyte of Pain.
Yeah, and the Shrink Ray is a pretty heavy punish into
I
that.
see a dark future.
Let the pain speak to me.
Shrink Ray and Acolyte of Pain looks very interesting in this position. Does Nalguidan have silence?
Yes.
Okay.
He has 2 copies.
The High Priest and the Acolyte looked good, and the more I'm looking at Nalguidan's hand, I don't think he had to do that. I think he could have played Witchfoot Piper and then set up a better Acolyte to pay in the future.
With
To draw
Wild
cards.
Pyromancer.
Yeah. It's not that he may or should have, it's just that he had options, and I think he played that relatively fast. And now the Cleric is like not, oh, well, he has Pyromancer Cleric combos now.
Yeah,
so.
but well, yes, but it will be awkward with this Acolyte of Pain
Is
that's on the
someone
board.
injured?
Right. Well, he can actually Forbidden Words for 1 mana.
Yes.
Do you like to play with fire?
That was an insane card draw.
And that draws 1 here, and then we'll draw 3 from the Circle of Healing. So Nalguidan's cycling pretty aggressively through his deck now.
Yes. The only thing is that all the board gets weakened for a Consecration, but he replaces it with another Pyromancer and Northshire Cleric. So Prismatic Lens from Firebat. There is one possibility if his Holy Wrath ends up drawing Shavala, or switching places with Shavala, rather.
Yeah. 12 cards left in the deck. It's not that unlikely. He has Crystalsmith Kangor, a Baleful Banker, a Novice Engineer. Okay, hits Novice Engineer and hits Holy Wrath. So that's quite flexible. Problem for Firebat is he's already used his 1 copy of Equality and his 1 copy of Shrink Ray. So his ability to clear these wide board states is pretty low. But he has a lot of card draw still left in the deck, with double Flash of Light, that Novice Engineer that you see there, as well as another Prismatic Lens.
Yeah. The key is probably the timeouts. Oh, that's another reason why Witchfoot Piper might be might complicate things, because the Psychopomp Reborn hits it. That's not good.
The end begins. I see a dark
Okay.
future.
There we go.
Firebat might be on the timeout train now. And that lack of Acolyte draw is so big because Firebat is that much less likely to get to his combo now.
Is someone injured?
Novice Engineer can still draw a card, and Firebat can go for the timeout. Another thing to consider too, by the way, is that Firebat doesn't have the kill with Holy Wrath. It's at his opponent's at 26. That is fairly important.
Yes, it is. And he doesn't have a great way to actually get that damage. Has used True Silver Champion, used Hammer of Wrath, has used 1 Consecration as the second one in hand, but now Nalguidan can heal his
I hope you
face
like my invention.
from this point on.
Okay.
It's a very nice pickup.
It's a very important one for sure.
Crystalsmith Kangor, I believe, is the only 1 attack unit left. So it is draw 1. 1 mana, draw 1.
Still good.
Still good!
Okay, so Nalguidan has to set himself best up to punish the moment Firebat stumbles. His job is to, well, pretty much just react to whatever Firebat does.
I think he wants to heal face. I think that's priority 1.
Yes, I agree with that. I would like to heal his own health total. Okay, he wants to draw cards. I'm not sure if I agree with it though.
Yeah, I don't really see a point in
Healing his minion.
healing his minion there.
He has 1 equality and 1 shrink ray, right?
Yeah, so he's out of board wide removal.
Yeah. In fact, if he healed himself, I'd argue that Firebat can't win, because the Consecration was the only way he can get direct damage.
Oh, Wild Pyromancer subdue Consecration.
Oh, wow. Wow. That is a huge draw.
Play with fire?
Oh my goodness.
That clears everything but the Northshire Cleric and the injured
Dark
Tolbeer.
future.
What does this do?
It clears the. It damages the Northshire Cleric and.
Oh, it adds 1
more?
extra damage so he can't get blown out by something. Okay. he's trying to calculate the break points of like what happens if that injured Tolvir goes down to a 2-1 instead of a 2-2. He goes 2 to 4 with Power Word Shield, 4 to 6. Divine Spirit, 6 to 12. Divine Spirit, 24. He died anyways. Oh no, if he puts it down to 1 though, he doesn't get that. 1 to 3.
He does put it down to 1. He puts both down to 1.
3, 5. Yeah, so the 1 health does matter because then the heal plus Power Word Shield plus double Divine Spirit plus Inner Fire isn't lethal. Because it'd be 21. Because 1 to 3 to 5 to 10 to 20.
Does Circle of Healing get him anywhere right now?
Well, yes, but you can't play around everything. I think Firebat just cuts out 1 extra out from Nalguidan. Now, Nalguidan wasn't anywhere close to that. He has 3 effective Inner Fires. But, you know, if this draw, for example, drew Power Word Shield, and that Power Word Shield drew a Divine Spirit, or in this case, Circle of Healing, now it's starting to get a little scary. There's only 2 cards remaining. And he's lacking his other Divine Spirit. Is that...
Well, he has 4 cards remaining.
Oh, sorry, he has 4 cards remaining, but...
1 is a Neverset Ritual.
One of them is a Power Word Shield. I think he's guaranteed.
Yep.
The Northshire Cleric surviving gives Nalguidan the ability to draw into his combo. And Firebat barely holding on, but just not enough time. And Nalguidan's gonna finish series 2-0. Closing out his week at 1 game apiece.
Yeah, nicely done. And you can see just how much longevity that Priest deck can have when they draw a lot of cards in the early game. Nalguidan had an interesting keep on the mulligan there with Neverset Ritualist, Injured Blade Master, and Extra Arms. But ultimately that pays off in the end because that forced out a lot of removal very early on from Firebat. And you could tell at the end if he had a Quality or Shrink Ray, he could have removed everything off the board. And ends up taking the win 2-0. Firebat 1-1 with his strategy of trying to target the Priest Mage.
That's a matchup that he thinks that he's favored in.
It is.
And was saying that he felt really good about it.
Yeah.
But we'll talk to Firebat hopefully in the future weeks. In the meantime, we're going to check in with Nalguidan, who stopped by for an interview. Nalguidan, can you hear us?
Hello. Yes.
All right, so talk to us a little bit about the series there. I think the second game was one of our first questions. You decided to keep your entire hand, was that correct, or did we just come in a little bit late?
1 card thrown away.
1 card thrown away.
Yeah, I draw 1 card, yes.
Gotcha. So what was the reasoning behind keeping those 3 cards? Did you feel like it was specifically really important to the Paladin matchup that you wanted Injured Blade Master and the Ritualist like that?
I practice the matchup. I feel like the Paladin struggles a bit when the Priest gets early on board. Like this game, for example, I got the board like pretty much every turn, so he has to waste his Equality in 1 minion and then the Ray. And then after that, he doesn't have more clear. So, like, I don't know what he had in hand, but like at the end of the game, he still had like 5, I think, cards in his deck. So even if I didn't draw a little that turn, I could maybe still win like in the next one or the next one. So,
right,
yeah,
he was a few turns away.
I should saw that he couldn't kill the Blade Master if I coin it, and I will go 4/7 next turn. So.
Gotcha. You know, it seems like, you know, going into this season, people weren't sure where your head was at because I feel like people were like trying to cheer for you and whatnot and kind of support you, but it seemed like you were, you know, talking about your luck and how, you know, Specialist was affecting you. Now we're going into a multi-class format. How did you feel like your headspace is in Season 2?
It's been only 1 week and I can already feel so much more excited to prepare the lineups. Like Season 1, if you maybe had to pick which class, but you didn't have like a lot of reason to. I mean, I play a lot, but you didn't have like reasons to try decks, right? Like now with multiple class, even if you know like warrior and mage are the best decks, for example, you still have to look for the third and fourth decks, and that incentivate you to play ladder, practice more. It's also more fun, right? Like just play multiple decks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've been having a lot more fun too. Let's talk also a little bit about your life as well. I know that you've been, trying to balance school or other real life obligations. Is that still very much the case here for second season?
Yes, but like I said on season 1, I decided to attend less classes this semester, so I have 2 free days on the week. And if that's not enough to keep up with Grandmaster, I will probably drop another one. This semester I want to focus like mainly on Grandmaster because it's very important. I don't know if next year I will have the opportunity to play again. I hope I can, but you never know.
Right,
So,
exactly. Definitely live without regrets and definitely try really hard,
Yeah.
which is a good mentality to have for sure.
Yeah. All right, Nalguidan. Do you have any new conspiracy theories for me?
Yes, we talk about your Dr. Boom theory, and every time we see it, it's like, wow, he's right.
Every time it happens, I swear. Confirmation bias, I don't care.
I hear you all the time, Tisha. I hear you all the time with that one.
All right, hit me with. Do you have any new
But
ones?
I was right.
You are right. You are right. I'd never doubted you, not
Yeah.
for a second.
I don't have any for now, but
Okay.
I will pay attention and bring to you.
Okay.
All right,
Keep
okay.
looking out, man. Keep hunting. Keep hunting.
right.
I need to know.
All right, well, thank you, Nalguidan, for joining us. Congrats on your win. We'll see you back next week.
Thank you.
All right, Nalguidan conspiracy theories. Wow. He's holding at least like half a dozen of them. He just doesn't want to give him away his secrets just yet.
No, he's a scientist, man. It's not full conspiracy theory with him. He needs to, get in a test environment. He needs to, go to the lab and make sure that it's actually true. You'd be surprised. Keep an eye out for it. For those of you who don't know, Nalguidan, the Nalguidan theory for warriors, that Dr. Boom picks a hero power and will rotate through that one and a random one every single time. So if you get Blast Shield, you get Blast Shield, something random, then Blast Shield again, then something random, then Blast Shield again. Watch.